The time is 5:15. You may call the meeting to order.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the February 24th joint meeting of the San Mateo County Juvenile Justice Commission and the San Mateo County Delinquency Prevention Commission. Before we get started, I'd like to pass this over to the clerk who will, who will explain how participants can utilize translation services for this meeting in Spanish. Thank you so much.
So members of the public, live interpretation of this entire meeting will be provided in Spanish. To access live interpretation services in Zoom, click the interpretation globe Zoom icon in the Zoom meeting and controls and select the Spanish language. At this time, I would like my colleague Karen or Zuli to provide these instructions in Spanish. Thank you. We get the Spanish translation? Marta, could we get that translated? Marta or Karen, the Spanish translation? See both of you on in the translation room. You unmute?
Commissioner Chen, can you hear us okay?
I can, yeah.
We do have live translation for Spanish tonight with our Spanish interpreters, if they could provide that in Spanish for us.
It looks like we may be having some technical difficulties, but we will go ahead and be working behind the scenes to resolve those as quickly as possible. So we'll go ahead and move forward. Let me just give it just 1 second. I think we might have a fix here.
All right, Marta, you're unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, but speak a little bit
okay.
louder.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and call roll.
Vice Chair Blanco.
Oh, my apologies. I heard Marco. Present.
Vice Chair Patton.
Están
Present.
llamando a lista
Commissioner
en este momento.
Navarro. Commissioner Ali is absent. Commissioner Bocanegra is absent. Commissioner Chen.
I'm here.
Commissioner Clemmer. Absent. Commissioner Ling. Absent. Commissioner Venkatesh. Absent. Commissioner Yuan.
Present.
Oh, sorry, didn't hear you. Venkatesh is here. Commissioner Yuan.
Present.
And then Chair Rasmussen.
I'm here, and I'd also like to note that Commissioner Bocanegra just walked in the room, And Commissioner Chen will be participating online. She is under the weather, and so she'll be utilizing the exception to participate remotely due to her illness. Okay, moving on to the next item is agenda review and approval. So I'd be looking for a motion to approve the agenda as it was distributed.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Ginevro. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the meeting agenda is approved as distributed. Next is our approval of the meeting minutes for January 27th, 2026. I'll also be looking for a motion to approve the minutes as distributed or to open up discussion on any edits that might need to be made. A motion? Okay, Commissioner Bocanegra, second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Ginevro. This side of the room is heavy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I think people have come in as they fill in. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So if there are no edits or additions to the minutes, all those in favor of approving them as distributed, say aye. Aye. Are there any abstentions or anyone wishing to oppose? Seeing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. The next up on the agenda is an amendment to our 2026 joint meeting schedule. Our March meeting will be held on Cesar Chavez Day, so we have moved the meeting up to March 24th to accommodate that holiday. So that being said, that is all of the preliminary business for the meeting. So we'll be moving on to public comment for items that are not on the agenda.
All right. Members of the public, if you would like to make a public comment, please bring a speaker slip. There's some located on this table up here. And for those joining online, please raise your hand at this time. If anybody has public comment. No speaker slips received and no hands raised online.
Thank you so much. Okay, so moving on to our system partner updates. First up is Ron Reyes, the head of the Juvenile Division of the Private Defender Program. Good evening, Ron. I see that you're joining us on Zoom tonight. Thank you for being here.
Good evening. Sorry. Yes, I've been a busy day. I couldn't make it down to Redwood City in time. So I do have some updates for you for the past 4 weeks. In the past 4 weeks, we made 30 different assignments. The breakdown on those were 10 detention. Out of the 10 detention, 4 of them contained allegation of 707B offenses. And these are serious or violent felonies. And we had 18 out of custody arraignments, and out of the 18, 13 of them also contained allegation of 707B offenses. We had 4 sealings, and on our Miranda consultation hotline, we received 24 calls, and the breakdown for those calls are 16 for youth, 16 and 17-year-old. We had 2 for 15-year-old, and then we had 4 calls for 14 and under. And in all 24 calls, no statement were given. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. That's wonderful news about no statements given. We appreciate hearing that update. Thank you. Any questions for Ron Reyes on any of the information? No? Okay, seeing none. Thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Moving on
you.
to, you're very welcome. Moving on to District Attorney Nadia Hahn. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. I want to apologize in advance. I'm also a bit under the weather tonight, so I'm going to be logging off probably shortly after this update. But for the last period since our last meeting, so from January 28th till today, we had 18 cases filed involving felonies, 9 misdemeanor cases for a total of 27, and 11 cases that were either rejected or referred out for informal.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well, but I appreciate that you joined us in spite of that. Thank you so much. Any questions for Nadia Hahn? All right, Nadia, I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the probation department. We have quite a few things to report on probation this evening. Before we get started, I just wanted to announce that I received a call from now, I believe, Assistant Chief. Is that right? Monier Wade, who let me know that there is going to be quite a few changes being made. There's been some restructuring and some promotions within the department. So Monier has been promoted to the new assistant chief who replaces Michelle Kozel, who will be retiring, I understand, at the end of March. And then Nora Cullen, who's here with us this evening. Some of you may remember when she did probation services, juvenile probation services. And now she'll be replacing Becky Powers. Oh, I apologize. Okay, Margarita. Okay, I apologize for that. Okay, so she is in charge of institutions, right? Institutions. So you're taking over. Okay, and you're taking Monier's place. Okay, that makes more. Okay, and then Margarita Ochoa, who's here, is taking over Becky's spot in juvenile services. Okay, now was there something that was combined? He was telling me that. Okay, so she's Deputy Chief of Juvenile Services and Juvenile Institutions. So that's like a combined role that's new. Oh, that's what he did before? Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for walking me through that and welcome. And we look forward to receiving your update. And congratulations to everyone on their promotions and new positions.
Can you hear me? Is that better?
Okay, yes.
I apologize. That's okay. Okay, so reporting out.
Let me give you another one.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, just yeah.
Okay, so I'm reporting out for January 2026 for juvenile services. We had 14 diversion cases, 102 court cases, and 212 supervision cases for a total of 328 cases with 7 probation officers. For race and ethnicity, the largest we had was Hispanic Latino at 210, followed by Black at 44 and white at 24. We had 73 female, 254 male, and 1 non-binary. For the region, we had the most at the South County at 108, Central County 78, and North County at 73.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Yvonne. Welcome.
Good afternoon, or good evening, I should say. I will be reporting for institutions for the month of January. So as of this morning, we had a total of 38 minor, non-minors in custody. Of those 38, 9 are secure youth treatment facility, 1 female and 8 males. We have a total number of bookings and releases for the month is we had 20 bookings and 18 releases. We had 19 predisposition for YSC, 9 post-disposition with a total of 28. For secure youth treatment facility, we had 0 predisposition, 8 post-disposition with a total of 8. For race and ethnicity, for the YSC, we had 16 Hispanic Latino, 12 all other unknown with a total of 28. For secure youth treatment facility, we had 8 Hispanic Latino, 0 all other or unknown with a total of 8. For gender, for the YSC, we had 3 female, 24 male, 1 non-binary with a total of 28. For a secure youth treatment facility, we have 1 female, 7 male, 0 non-binary with a total of 8. The average length of stay was 23 days at the YSC and 48 days on electronic monitoring program. Youth on EMP is 9, and EMP/CAM totals are as follows. EMP referrals, we had 4. CAM referrals, we had 0. EMP successful completions, we had 3. And CAM successful completions, we had 0. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. Does anyone have any questions for probation this evening? Yes, Commissioner Bocanegra.
On the 3 EMP on the EMP referrals, or the discharges, were they discharged from probation or just discharged from EMP? You said they completed the EMP program successfully. Does that mean that they were also discharged from probation? How many discharged from probation have we had in the last month? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, looking up on Zoom. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome back to our other members. Okay, thank you. Okay, next up is the County Office of Education. I do not see Sarah Notch, who's the representative here. This, I think, is her 4th meeting that we haven't had her. Is that right? 3 or 4? Several months, so I'm concerned about that. But I do see that Trustee Chelsea Bonini is here. And if you have anything you'd like to let us know about a report, we're happy to have you report out on that. If not, I understand I might be putting you on the spot. I'm just giving you the opportunity since Sarah's not here. Let me see. All right, I'll go ahead and move on, and then Trustee Bonini, if you decide that you'd like to speak, please just raise your hand. All right. Moving on then to BHRS. Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Do we know why education is not showing up here? Sarah Notch for 3 months straight?
Well, she did indicate that she hadn't received an invitation, but she has been coming for several years and knows all the information is posted. So I don't know. So I think we're going to have to find out why, because it's a huge piece of our rehabilitation with education.
It's just kind of concerning that the foster, Mr. Wong doesn't show up, and now educational leadership is not showing up to the commission meetings. That's extremely concerning. So I just wanted to put that on the record.
Thank you, Commissioner Bocanegra. Your concerns are noted, and I'm sure shared by everybody in the room. Okay. All right, moving on to behavioral health and recovery services. Do we have anyone here from behavioral health and recovery services here to present tonight? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to Fresh Lifelines for Youth, who never misses a meeting. I will go ahead and pass it over to Maria. It's so great to see you, Maria, and Tati Castaneda.
Good
Thank you so
afternoon.
much for being here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria. It's been a few months that I haven't attended, but I'm happy to be here. Moving forward, I will be doing the reentry updates. And we also have someone else from Fly who will be doing the updates for Stay Fly. Her name is Liliana. Just wanted to mention that. But for reentry program, case managers are actively connecting with youth at juvenile halls for recruitment purposes. And they're just building that connection. So by the time they get released, they can join program. And we, for Q2, which is at the beginning of the year, we already recruited 4 youth, and 10 of them have successfully completed program. And we also have an upcoming event. They want to do ceramics painting, which it was very interesting, but they're very excited to do that. And that is all the updates for reentry, and I'll pass it to Tati.
Hi, everyone. So for February, we now have 9 in Secure Track. 8 of those are in college, and 1 is set to graduate high school in March. So he will be enrolling in college courses in the fall. For February alone, we have 41.75 hours in individual case management. We're currently building out gender-specific workshops for the one female that we have in Secure Track. She actually requested those from us. She saw that my colleague Harold was doing weekly workshops that she obviously is a part of, but she actually pulled us aside and asked if we can start developing stuff specific to her. So we're working on that. We also have one youth who participated in a Fly organization-wide art contest and was labeled the winner last night. So I will let him know tomorrow when I see him. But we're super excited and just proud of him. Probation allowed us to order all of Secret Track new shoes. So we were very happy to be able to do that. And those should be there soon, and they're excited to get their new shoes. And then we are prepping some of our youth who will be going to school in person, just to see what that looks like for them and having a lot of detailed conversations about how to process and navigate stuff like that. And then for Harold's weekly workshop, the current topic is evaluating relationships. And that's all I have.
Hello, thank you, Tati. My name is Liliana. I am obviously very new to this space, so thank you all for welcoming me. I am going to be sharing our stay program highlights. So this is our 18 to 25-year-old case management, who Carlos is usually here for, but is not today, and I will be moving forward. But currently he has 6 on his caseload, with one just being successfully closed out this past month. We currently have a wait list of 6, which probation has been sending referrals through. 2 are in progress currently. And then the demographic of those on caseload are currently all male. And then on our wait list, we have 4 men and 2 women who are hopefully going to be added very soon. And then for our future event at the beginning of next month is actually going to be at Top Golf. So we're going to be taking our community to kind of hopefully have some fun and just enjoy their time. Thanks for allowing me to be here.
Well, thank you for being here and welcome. We hope we'll see you again. Thank you to all 3 of you. I know that there's some questions. We appreciate the report and all the important work that you're doing. Commissioner Bocanegra.
Yes, the question is for Tati. Thank you so much for informing us that we have one female that is requesting more program. Has the private defender's office, probation, and the court been informed that we have a female that is requesting programming? Because it seems like all of the programming tends to be one-sided, and I think that it is just very unfair that we have one female incarcerated with 8 other males or 9 other males who is requesting program that should be afforded to her from the beginning of her incarceration.
So she and I checked in, and she does receive a lot of support from probation. She has her assigned GS, and she said that they check in frequently about her specific needs. Her idea for the workshops were more so just because she saw that she's getting general information from Harold. And she was just, it was more of a casual, like, oh, what if we did this? What if you and I did this? She has a lot of ideas herself for workshops that she was interested in developing. And so that was where that stemmed from, but she did share that she is supported. So it was more in addition to the support she's already receiving. She just wanted to work on workshops, she and I together, for us to spend more time sort of case managing, because she will obviously be learning as we're developing these. And then just so that we have something prepared for if in the future there are more females, we don't have to start from scratch at that time.
Can we identify just like 3 programs that are directed for females there at the YSC?
Those I'm not too sure of. I know Fly comes in. I'm not aware of what other programs are exactly doing, but I can check in with Mel.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your report and for working with this young lady and elevating not only her concerns, but also what she's interested in and making sure that her voice and her needs are accounted for. So thank you for that work. Thank you to all three of you for the work you do in the community and ensuring that our youth have a successful reentry and transition back into the community. That's very, very important. Chief, I'd like to open. I see you came off of your cameras on. Is there anything you'd like to share with us tonight?
Good evening, everyone. No, I don't have anything particular to share. I was just wanted to make myself visually present just in case there was going to be questions that kind of came from any of the reports that were just put out. So thank you for offering the opportunity.
Sure, and thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Okay, and so with the absence of John Fong, the head of Children and Family Services, we will move on to a very special I'm sorry? Oh, yes, I apologize. Supervisor Corzo, do you have a report out for us?
Hi there, everyone. I wanted to follow up and give additional information. This is the first full meeting I'm attending, and so I'm just adjusting to the flow you all have here. But I did want to share that in terms of a study session today, our board adopted an agenda builder, and so we will very soon have a public-facing agenda builder, which shows the pending study session items, the date they were requested, and when they are set to be on the agenda. I also want to name that, last year we probably had less than 6 study sessions all year, and we are already 2 for 2 in January and February. And so I am balancing the urgent needs of our board with, HR1 cuts to our community and what those impacts will be for our residents in terms of CalFresh and Medi-Cal, Medicaid, etc. And then we had a study session today on VLF. I know that there is a study session pending to, discuss issues that were raised at a prior meeting in terms of our youth that are incarcerated, and it is on the list and will be coming up soon. But because we just adopted that today, we will have our board retreat on March 3rd, and we will be having a discussion about the pending items on that list. And so happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. And as our new representative, my apologies for skipping over. We haven't had a representative present from the Board of Supervisors who does a regular report out. So we're getting used to that flow too, and we appreciate your presence here. So thank you. As far as, what I'm hearing you say is it's going to take a little bit more time than we had hoped, but it is going to happen. Is that right?
Yes, it is still on the list. And, I think there was a lot of urgency prior, and I was told that that urgency from, the folks that requested it wasn't as intense anymore. But it is still on the list, and we will still be discussing.
So just so I'm clear, does being on the list mean that there's going to be a study session held this year, or does being on the list just mean that it's up for discussion?
It's on the list. It will be studied. Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. I just sometimes words can be tricky. I just want to make sure I completely understand. So thank you for that, and thank you for being here. And we look forward to that study session.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share that, these meetings fall on days that I have board meetings as well. And so I won't be attending every single meeting, and I won't have a report every single meeting. But I do want to, Christina Faya, who's on my team, will be coming and want to, keep lines of communication open and support this commission and we'll have lots to discuss.
Thank you for that. So Christina is the assigned representative now from your office who will be joining us going forward?
Yes.
Thank you for that. Okay, well, welcome, Christina. We're happy to have you. Thank you for being here. All right, and then now moving on. Any questions for for Supervisor Corso?
I just wanted to state for the record again that this is the first commission meeting where we've had Board of Supervisor representation present, and your team has been in communication with us, informing us of all of the recent changes and updates that are coming. And I just want to say thank you for being invested and committed to collaborating with the commission.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Bocanegra. And I do want to encourage any commissioners to please feel free to reach out to me or to my team if you have any questions or concerns.
Okay. Any other questions for the supervisor? All right. Looking on Zoom. All right. Thank you so much. Now, moving on to agenda item 4 is a very special presentation from Mike Taylor, who is the Executive Director of Bay Area Collaborative. I first read about Mike's work up in Sonoma County in the Press Democrat. Some of you know I have a home up at the Russian River, and so I read the Press Democrat, wanting to know what's going on up there. And I was so intrigued by what I read about his program at the Juvenile Hall. And then, as some of you may remember, Commissioner Blanco came across Mr. Taylor at another event and brought forward his book, Unheard Voices. And so we invited him to come to our Prevention and Action Conference in January, and he partnered with us and hosted a table to share more about his program. I'm a huge fan of his work, as is Vice Chair Blanco, and we are just so thrilled that he was willing to come and share a little bit about his program. And so thank you so much for being here.
Nice. Thank you so much. My name is Mike Taylor. I am the Executive Director of Bay Area Creative. We've been going for 18 years now, and the organization started off as just the idea of I was a freshman in college and had a community service opportunity to teach poetry in schools. And the poetry program turned into a volunteered class, to a semester, to 2 classes, to a school district. In the school district, it was a really packed open house, back to school night type show. They're looking in from the window because there's students of 3 classes there, there's parents, there's an open mic going on, there's interactive games. So the district superintendent was looking in from the window and said, "What is this? I want this everywhere." So we went from 1 class volunteered to an entire school district where we were providing poetry services. And I think it might have started off about teaching poetry, but very quickly we realized the social emotional impact. This idea that students were able to cling on and grab onto something that was larger than literary devices that we were teaching in class. It was larger than, oh, let me play a poetry game. It was them learning how to connect with each other. It was learning how to overcome different obstacles that would be put in their path throughout. So I feel like so much of life, you're fighting battles and battles and battles against everything outside, that what's in here in you and your identity and your comfort in your own skin and bones and who you are, that shouldn't be a battle. So first, arming these youth with the tools to understand who they are, and in turn look out and transform their communities and transform their friend circles. And later on, they're going to the beach. They're going to city hall meetings and talking about beach cleanups and talking about what they want to see change in their city. I've seen the huge growth and power and impact of the programs that we do. And most of what I talked about was from like 18 years ago. Now, today, we have over 100 school sites that we're at. We're at community centers. We're at juvenile hall programs, which I'm going to be talking about a lot today. And we're in all parts of the community, as well as in corporate stuff as well. But we're looking at how we can put art into the community and how that art transforms the community and transforms people. We have other programs today where we're doing dance and muraling, but from 2023, 2024, we had the Unheard Voices program, which was my favorite program of the school year. The program, what it did was it took juvenile hall youth in Sonoma County, and we can actually flip to the next slide. Poets went in, and going into the juvenile halls, they held writing workshops, and they were acting as mentors in these juvenile halls. We can go to the next slide. In the first round of poetry, the juvenile hall students, they had conversations, they had writing workshops, they had all these things where they got to express their story. In the second round, we gave the poems the juvenile hall students wrote, we gave those poems to high school students. And the high school students read them, studied them, marked them up for what they were doing in their poetry, and they responded. And the responses went back to the juvenile hall students, and those responses that went back to the juvenile hall students were once again responded to. And the result of this was amazing. We thought, we're just like, okay, we're going to go in there. These are going to be really, really like monumental in the classes that we had done in the juvenile halls, because that's what we were used to. We were used to going and making a difference in youth's lives that are very contained in that experience. We can go to the next slide. What happened was the first round was dark. The first round, they were talking about their experiences. They were talking about a lot of their trauma. They were talking about a lot of the decisions they made, just like this sense of unfairness of times they didn't have a choice, times that all the things that brought them to the moments that they were now, and a lot of it was heavy. Moving to the second round, the youth listened to those stories, heard those stories, read them, cared about them, wrote back. And those responses were kind of just like, I hear you and I see you, and here's different parts where I relate to your story. And here's different parts where I see us have this like common ground connection. Sometimes it was a similar theme. Sometimes, even if it was very different stories, it was a similar feeling. Should I go closer here? So sometimes it was a very similar theme. Sometimes it was a very similar feeling. So even if the subject matter was very different. And these poems went back to the juvenile halls. And when they went back there, the third round of poetry, the juvenile hall students wrote one more time after being heard and responded to and listened to. And that was a whole different experience of looking at their writing being kind of hopeful, looking at their writing being really excited. I wasn't there in the juvenile halls. I don't teach in that program. But I heard they were excited to read the poems that were written to them based off of their stories and their experiences, because all of a sudden this otherness, this distance, this separation between the kids that went here and the kids that are over here has been closed. in the book, we put these responses side by side. So on this one, we have, I wish I could tell a story. And then in response, we had telling a story. If we go to the next slide, on this one, we had break the cycle. And then on this one, the response was, I am. And let me see, if I get closer, I can probably read some of the lines that are in this. From the Sonoma County Juvenile Hall. Some of them used their real names, some of them used a pen name. So by the poet we have, I am brokenhearted, I am open-hearted. I am tired, I am drained. I am resented, I am alone. I am grieving, I am in mourning. I may be locked up, I may be free. I may fail, I may succeed. I may be numb, I may be emotional. I may be looked up to, I may be looked down upon. I will break the cycle. I will make it out. I will be myself no matter what. We can clap for that. We can go ahead. In response from a middle school student in Hayward, California, we have written in the same style. I am stubborn, I am firm. I am persistent, I am constant. I am shy, I am soft-spoken. I am tacky, I am weird. I may fly, I may fall. I may trip, I may walk along, as if obstacles are foreign. I may laugh, I may cry. I will embrace those falls. I will accept the trips. I will wipe the tears and face my fears. I will be myself. At least I'll always try. So y'all can clap for that one too. Y'all can clap for that one too. So seeing these poems side by side, seeing these poems responded to, really bridging this gap is a lot of what restorative justice can be about, and helping these juvenile hall youth connect back with their community. We can go to the next one. I'm not going to read the next poem, but I'm going to read some of the titles, because seeing the titles next to each other, I really liked. On one side, we had When a Tear Escapes. On the other side, we have When I Have No More Tears to Lose. On the next slide, we have Failure. And then right next to that, we have the student respond, Not a Failure. So that was some of the poems from the last cycle. This was 2023 to 2024. If we go to the next slide. So the impact, we had one juvenile hall group, I believe it was about 20 students. And we had 200 different high school students responding. Not all 200 high school responses made it into the final book. They picked the most responsive to give and see what got. Editing a book takes a lot. So a lot of submissions. All of the juvenile hall students that submitted were kept in, and then some of the high school students were put in. The intended impact, again, was a lot of the growth through storytelling and writing and therapeutic aid in this difficult time. The actual impact, we go in with a data-driven process that's looking for the expected growth. But in this one, we were like, okay, wow, there was all of the social emotional learning with all of the connection. And then we had forgiveness. And then we had being heard and listened to without judgment. That without judgment part was difficult, because so many times in these systems, there's this feeling of judgment that's kind of paired with what's going on. And then we also had growth through storytelling and writing, and then the therapeutic aid that we did expect also. We can go to, this is probably the last slide. This was voted our most impactful project of 2023, 2024. And then it did not get renewed funding. Which in the nonprofit world, it tends to happen. For this one, we've pitched it a lot and we've told a lot of people about it. I think one of my hopes today was to just let everybody know about this opportunity for students, for youth, for juvenile hall justice impacted communities, that this is an amazing project. And one of the questions was, oh, can we buy the anthology? The ones that I passed out to flip through today, please, these are the last books that we have from the print run. So we have like these here. The ones that I passed out, they are $20 each. We sell them at cost. So if you would like to purchase one, you can bayareacreative.org. You can just make a donation on the website of like $20, and that's how you can purchase them. bayareacreative.org. I only have the paper copies, so if you want to like purchase it and send you one, just hit up the contact on the website, and I'll figure out how to send it to you. From there, that was my presentation today. Y'all can clap. Sorry, I'm a slam poet, so sometimes I'm just like, why aren't they clapping? Oh yeah, this is a meeting. I wanted to do a Q&A, and then also, if you wanted, I also have a demoed workshop that we might do, something like what we might do in a juvenile hall writing group. So I'll do, how much time do I have?
I would say we probably have another 20, 25 minutes.
Oh, perfect, perfect.
Okay.
So I'll do a Q&A now, just if anybody has any questions on the project, the organization, the process. And then we are going to do a 20-minute communication writing workshop. So you see some of the experience that the juvenile hall youth might get to engage in. Do I have any questions?
Thank you so much. Yes. The question is, how much does it cost to do the program, and the funding need for the program?
Definitely. The anthology cost about $4,000 to produce. And then the workshops themselves are a separate cost to have and that really depends on the length of the workshops. Sometimes they'll do 4 sessions, sometimes they'll do 10 sessions. So the workshop cost is separate than the anthology production cost of getting them produced.
So if we were to advocate for funding, how much funding would we need to advocate for? Would you say in order to implement a program such as this and to sustain it at a level, because the impact is immense and it's a fantastic program. This book is beautiful for anybody online. The artwork, it's just amazing. And
Definitely. So what I would think is around $20,000 is what we're looking for one program like this. And again, that's the full cost of the program, not just and that's for one group. And that is the full cost of the program, not just making that. So that's weekly visits. We have Jenna Robinson so the name of the program is Revisions. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the workshop that we're about to do. But in the Revisions program, it's led by program director Jenna Robinson, who is a licensed art therapist. She's an LMFT and has a background in how do we use spoken word to look at the stories that we're telling and the stories told about us. And how do we change those stories? How do we alter those stories? The program is called Revisions. So how do we have a revision on our own story to line up to where we are? If I said where we're trying to go, she would be like, no, that's too direct. So it's really to line up to where we are comfortable with who we are and comfortable with the story that that we're telling for ourselves.
So beautiful. Thank you. If any other questions, Commissioner Ginevra?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what would the process be like if, say, probation or the juvenile hall in our county wanted to participate, like, what in funding came? what would that look like? How would we be able to do that, like to involve our youth in this county as well?
We have a team, our leadership team. So both Patrick Osland is the deputy director, and Jenna Robinson is the program director for the Visions program. So getting in contact with them on the bayareacreative.org website would be where that starts. I deal a lot with the programming of it, so setting up different contracts, setting up different programs, and the agreements to go in. Personally, that's not my side of operations, but on the website, if you go to bayareacreative.org and do the contact, then Patrick Osland and Jenna Robinson would have a personal conversation with what the next steps are for specific programs.
Thank you.
Our dream, if I was going to say our dream, we want to do these programs and anthologies in every juvenile hall center across the state, because it has such a great impact. And we're already working with so many elementary, middle school, high school, especially students that would love this opportunity to be able to connect with folks that are on that other side.
Thank you so much for that. And as you may know, I facilitate a monthly statewide meeting of commissioners throughout the state, and I would love it if you could come and present to us there. So everyone in the state can hear from you and can move forward in implementing or seeing how they can implement this program in their juvenile hall. If there are no other questions, I want to say I brought some extra paper and some pens. It's on the table here for everyone to participate in. The commissioners have it on the table, but for this writing exercise, we invite everyone to join in, and even online. Please join in so you can get an understanding of this work and just what it is. Thank you. We're passing out some papers now to the audience. All right. Thank you so much, Mike.
All right. So I am taking off my executive director hat. And I'm just a teaching artist right now. I'm just a poet. I'm a local poet. I've been doing spoken word and performance poetry for a couple decades now. And it's fun that we can all kind of take off the hats that we have on and the labels that we have on and the roles and positions and think about who we are within our role, and think about who we are when our role and position and expectations are all taken off. Who are we then? So a lot of times the workshops will start off with a discussion question that we can all answer this discussion question and kind of just like break this idea. In schools, it's very much English-based, literary-based. We're learning a literary device. In the juvenile hall programs, we're talking to each other a bit and we're sharing some stories. So while normally I would ask the question, maybe if you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing? But today I'm kind of like lifting the hood back so you can see some of the things that would be happening in there. But we're also going to skip along something because these workshops are usually 90 minutes long. So we're doing a bit of condensing. But in your head, think about if you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing? You can answer in a work fashion. You can answer in a lying horizontal on a beach fashion. We're all going to say that out loud. Maybe on the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lying in a beach horizontal.
I would be operating a home for unhoused youth.
Nice. Does anybody want to share out loud, share to the group what you would be doing If you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you be doing?
I would be traveling nonstop.
I delayed school for advocacy, so I'd probably be practicing law by now.
I'd go to a hut in the Trinity Alps and read books.
Nice, nice.
Probably be a baker.
Ooh, be a baker.
I would be a family law attorney.
A family law attorney.
attorney.
Nice, nice. Awesome. So as we kind of like disrobe some of these titles that we have now, and we look at ourselves as people and the experiences that might have brought us to where we are going to look at a poem today. And I'm going to read this poem. As I read this poem, maybe just, I don't know, think about what you notice. Oh, we might be able to put the poem on the screen as well for the folks. All right. I was still wearing diapers. Every Friday evening, my father would lift me out of the car seat in the back of Mom's Volvo. I'd stay with him during the weekends. His voice was a jet engine. His apartment, an aircraft carrier. He shows me maps of everything. The neighborhood, our house, the street Mom drives down to get here, a California state map, a globe that spins. My hand so much smaller than the world. When I was 3, I hadn't figured out all the days of the week listed at the top of calendars. But Sunday meant church with Grandma. Friday meant Dad's house. And everything in between was the neighborhood park that had monkey bars down the street. One time, I escaped, and I tried to find the park on my own. But 3-year-olds aren't very good with directions. Friday, my father helicopters me out of the car seat, notices how much bigger I've gotten. I play in an empty moving box. This one's a fighter plane. Maps. He shows me Georgia. That's where he'll be going for a while. His voice sounds like a final boarding call. Sunday, we go to church with Grandma. Park. I jet thrust off the swing set. Friday, Mom takes me to the familiar hangar. An empty airstrip. From the window, she sees my cardboard fighter plane, doesn't understand where he is. I tell her I remember, and I smile, proud of myself. Look at the map. Georgia. I don't realize how far that is. I still think I'll be seeing my father. After all, it's Friday. So, with that poem, I want to ask you, what's the point in time where you thought something was going to happen that didn't? Or what's a point in time where you thought something was going to be consistent in your life, but wasn't? Maybe make a note on your page. Maybe make a note on your page. What's a time you thought something was going to be consistent in your life, but for whatever reason, for good or for bad, now, when we look at poems in classrooms, in high school classrooms, a lot of times we're breaking down the literary devices. We're saying what was used here. We've used this poem to demonstrate image clustering and running metaphor. But in a juvenile hall, we're actually not doing that at all. We're asking three questions. One is, what specific lines, for whatever reason, do you feel like you connect to? If you're looking at this poem, what lines do you connect to? What lines do you relate to? And what emotions do you feel like you connect to happening in the poem? So would anybody like to answer that question? Are there any specific lines that you connect to? Normally in a juvenile hall program, I actually wouldn't use a poem that I wrote. I would use a poem that the teaching artist would use, a poem that they could also relate to, not having written it. But is there a line here or an emotion here that anyone can connect to for whatever reason?
Yeah. His voice was a jet engine.
His voice was a jet engine. And how does that line make you feel?
Afraid.
Afraid. Jet engines can be like, I see that. I see that. Does anybody have a line, another line they connect to?
For me, I still think I'll see my father. It made me think of just the expectation that a child would have, you know, like of this like you don't expect for anything bad to happen as a child. You expect for everything to be predictable, everything to be the same, everything to be protected.
Yeah.
I also shared that line. It was just sort of the innocence of childhood, right? We're just so little, we just don't know.
Does anybody have an emotion in the poem that they connect to? That was kind of that like innocence answer.
I also think the Sunday Mint Church with grandma that made me smile instantly, because that's my story of being a church girl, going with my mom's family and things. So that just instantly made me smile thinking about that, because to me that's a positive experience.
And me too, the same one. The consistency, grandma's there. How he associates grandma with church, and there's a lot of order and stability in church. Guess you'd say that's familiar, right?
Yeah. All right. What's the time? Just so
It's maybe another. How many more minutes do you need?
Oh, I was gonna say we could all write for about like 10 minutes.
Okay, that would be perfect.
Perfect. Okay, so there's no rules in poetry. There's no rules in spoken word. You can think of this as a poem. You can think of this as a journal. You can think about this as just writing some of your thoughts down, or writing some of your story down. But I want you to think of a time that you thought something was going to happen and didn't, or you thought something was going to be consistent and it wasn't. Maybe a time that you were let down. And bonus points if you want to think about how did you overcome that change when the world changed. How did you change to keep on going? If you want a line to start with, you can start with this line. I never expected. You could start with this line. Of course, it didn't happen. Or you can start with this line, things change. You have three possible starting points or your own starting point. I never expected. Of course, it didn't happen. Or things change.
All right, thank you.
I don't know if I gave people not enough time or too much time? How we feeling? If you're finished, put like a fist up in the air. If you want like 2 more minutes, put like a peace sign in the air. If you want 5 more minutes, give me like an air 5. Cool. We're gonna have 2 more minutes, and then I'll close out.
Thank you so much.
Would anyone like to share a line, a thought, a word, a poem from an excerpt from anything they've written? It's not required, but we're open. Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa.
Great.
Absolutely.
This is a little bit of a trigger warning. Okay. I thought my parents would pay attention, but I guess I got lost among the grocery lists and the travel plans and the luncheons and work, and my parents couldn't hear what I couldn't say. I was never taught these words because the words were unimaginable. Grooming behavior, frauderism, molestation, and the words that could have been spoken by other parents were never said. My child too, my child too, my child too.
Thank you, Melissa. That was extremely powerful.
Can we all say together? Can we all say, I hear you? Can we all say together, I see you?
See you.
Can we all say together, I'm with you?
I'm with you. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to share a word, a poem, an excerpt?
I never expected to be walking in the free world amongst my community again. I was trapped in the school to prison pipeline for life.
Can we all say together, I hear you?
I hear you.
Can we all say, I see you?
I see you.
Can we all say, I feel you?
I feel you.
Does anybody else want to share a word, an excerpt, line? All right. So now in our workshops, school they're called workshops. In juvenile halls they're called sessions. I don't know if y'all can tell I'm a teacher. In our sessions in juvenile halls, a lot of times what will happen is maybe the first 45 minutes is conversations and looking at a poem. They'll write and share, but the next 45 minutes are really conversations about lines that they wrote and that emotional impact, how they felt while writing, how they feel about the process of talking about the things, how they feel about the process of moving through past and onward for these. So the majority of the workshop isn't writing this, it's processing those emotions based on what was written and what was studied and what was communicated. My name is Mike Taylor. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, Mike. It was a privilege to have you. And I can tell you that this whole writing exercise really brought about a lot of emotion. And I could absolutely see what those kids experience doing this program. Thank you for the work you do. And thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much. Unless you tell me, I'm going to believe you. If you tell me you're going to make the donation on the website, I'm 1,000% going to believe you. But I am going to take these books back because they're the last of the printing.
Thank you. So he'll come around and pick those up unless you'd like to purchase them online. Thank you so much. Okay, I guess we need to open this up for public comment. Okay, any members of the public who'd like to make public comment on this item?
Seeing none.
Thank you. And I apologize for all the audio issues in the room. It's a brand new room, but for whatever reason, we can't seem to get the audio right. Okay, moving on to item 5 is the 2026 Juvenile Justice Realignment Block Grant Annual Plan. And the reason why this was included in the agenda is we'll actually be meeting, as some of you know, the commission holds a seat on the JJCC, the Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council for the county. And in that meeting, we also meet as the DJJ Realignment Subcommittee. And that's what this plan is about. And so we're actually going to be meeting on Thursday. And I know Commissioner Blanco last year called for some more opportunity to provide some input and some feedback on the plan. And being that this information was just released last Friday, I wanted to bring it forward not only for each of you, but also for the community to help that body push this information out to the public, to our audience, to sort of expand the reach, because this is very important work. And so the plan is included in the agenda. I'm certain there'll be a presentation for us on Thursday, and then there'll be a time period where we can submit, questions or additions. And according to the meeting schedule, it looks like we have until the May 28th meeting, or probably a week before, because of public meeting proposals, the meeting agenda that has to go out. So really, between Thursday and I would say the beginning of April, I think it's wise that we get together and follow up on Commissioner Blanco's request to meet, to hold a study session, to talk about what this plan is about, so everyone has a clear understanding of what it is, what are the programs that are being funded with these dollars, and to give everybody an opportunity to weigh in. So I think that we need to take a vote to hold an additional meeting, so we'll be doing that. If I could get a motion, then we could open it up for discussion to talk about any of the things that you'd like to add as far as. So we do not have a date at this time. So the date, please check your email. I'm working with the county to try and secure a date and a place. It'd be optimal to be able to hold it here in this room, but that may not be available. So is there any other comments that we want to? So let's go ahead. If I can get a motion to be able to open up discussion on holding a study session.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Commissioner Ginevro. Who's going to make the second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Blanco. Okay, floor is yours.
Well, I just wanted to what I meant by the date was to see if we could just give some dates. So when you work with the county on scheduling that date for us to meet, is maybe we can come up with some dates tonight. So you have it. No, we can at all. Or if not, if we don't have a space, also was going to suggest maybe we can have the meeting via Zoom. So I don't know what the options are there for us.
So I think what this is going to involve is the availability of the room, because it's nice to be able to put this on YouTube. It's nice to be able to have some consistency to let people know when. So I'm going to wait to hear back from the county on when the room is available. And if that's not an option, we can meet on Zoom, because we can go ahead and record. But I would hate to put out dates and spend time tonight trying to, zero down on when everybody's available. There's several commissioners who aren't here, and we don't know when the room is available. So that would be the purpose of that. But I do think this is an excellent idea and appreciate Commissioner Blanco bringing this forward. Anyone else that want to make any comments or bring anything before we vote to hold a study session? And I guess that the motion would be to, what we'd be looking to do is hold a study session before April 1. Go ahead.
So I'm assuming the JJCC already has their dates already planned for those meetings? Is that what you said?
So after Thursday, the next scheduled meeting is May 28th.
Okay, so you do. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So if there's no other discussion or comments or information that, okay. So all those in favor of holding a study session to be able to discuss the 2026 Juvenile Justice Realignment Block Grant Annual Plan, say aye.
Aye.
All those wishing to abstain? All those opposed? Okay, so stay tuned for a date and location for the study session. Thank you so much. I guess we call for public comment.
If you'd like to make comment on this item, please go ahead and raise your hand on Zoom. All right, seeing none.
Okay, before moving on, I also wanted to point out that at the statewide Juvenile Justice Commission meeting, Darius from OICR, Darius shared the Juvenile Justice Crime Prevention Act Youthful Offender Block Grant, and that is for JJCPA and YOBG funds. He gave us the 2025 expenditure and data report, which was also included in the agenda packet. So it's really good to familiarize yourself with these monies and how they're being used. I did propose a question to him. I asked, there's certain information you'll see as redacted. And so he sent me today an official response. I said, what is the criteria for redacting information? And so I just like to read this as he wrote it. He said, in accordance with California Health and Human Services data de-identification guidelines, DDG, Federal Health and Human Services guidance regarding methods for de-identification of protected health information in accordance with Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act HIPAA privacy rule. Data in the JJCPA and YOBG expenditure reports with case counts fewer than 12 have been redacted to maintain confidentiality and protect individual privacy. He further went on to thank us for flagging this and bringing this to his attention because this criteria is not listed in the 58 individual reports. It's listed on the website, but it's missing from the actual reports. So the OICR Data and Research Division is currently exploring on how best to include this information in reports going forward. So anyone who is reading this report will understand the criteria. Because when you're really trying to understand what's happening and you see this redacted information, you're like, why is that redacted? So a big thank you to OICR for responding to our request and taking action to make sure that others can see it as well. Okay, so moving on to item number 6 is liaison and subcommittee updates. And first up is Commissioner Blanco, who was our liaison for all things education.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for this time to be able to report to all of you. I will start first by sharing that on February 10th, OICR's Education Advisory Committee met, and we had 2 topics there, 2 presenters. One, we had Sierra College. Sierra College is in Rockland. They are a community college, and the topic of the conversation was the Rising Scholars Program. Dr. Tabitha Conway, who is the Dean of Student Services, presented. They mentioned that, I'm going to just mention a couple of things. They are new to the Rising Scholars Network here in our state. They received the Juvenile Justice Grant in 2024, and they were just sharing about all the amazing things that they're doing. And it sounds like they're doing some different things that our county isn't doing with regarding to Project Change. So, like for example, they, well, first of all, they have housing there already for students. They are opening up their second student housing building, brand spanking new. It is beautiful. I did share with her that my daughter was supposed to go to Sierra College, but she was at 100 in the wait list, so she didn't make it. But it's a beautiful building, and it's open. They're going to be opening the doors this spring. They also mentioned about how they have professional development for their students in the Rising Scholars Program. They have for example, the Youth Law Center has a fellowship for them. They also have they establish partnerships with their community-based organizations. They invite them to come to the campus, and they have resources fairs with them. It sounds like that they have this on their flex days, so the days that the college doesn't have classes, they are expected to come in. There is a lot of commitment that comes from their Rising Scholar students. And then the next presentation was Break Free Education. They work with juvenile justice agencies and schools. They provide free programming with teacher resources, school management. They also have a fellowship for the folks that want to weigh in. And they did say that there are fees. I just wasn't sure what their fees were, but you can go ahead and check them out. Break Free Ed dot 1 second. Let me get it for you right now. breakfree-ed.org. And when I was listening to what they were presenting for free, especially, this is geared to court and community school staff that I know that we don't have them here in our county. I believe they're either in Santa Clara or in Santa Cruz. So I think that's the nearest county office of ed that partners with them. And who presented this conversation was Danielle Mako and David Dominici. He is the founder of Break Free Education. The other thing that came up on that advisory committee was Dr. Massa. He's the chief health equity education. That's his title. And they spoke about the 56th annual JCC ASAC conference that stands for, I don't know how you pronounce that. Usually there are other acronyms that they make actually a full name out of it. It stands for Juvenile Court Community and Alternative School Administrators of California, and it's happening this year in May in San Francisco. And so a question I did have was, I asked if juvenile justice and delinquency prevention commissioners are able to attend, and they said yes. So because we are a commission that has no funding for professional development, now that we have Supervisor Corso, who is a supporter of the commission, and she's already proven to us that she is here to support, I'd like for you to please share with her this forwarding information. This is put on by, it's a joint collaborative with the California County Superintendents and the Santa Cruz County Office of Education. And so I do believe that county board of education board members do attend as well. So because it's here, I'm going to propose that Johanna, our chair, attends this. I come from being a former elected official where professional development is something that we have to do. And that just makes us, when we attend professional development, it makes us effective leaders in our community. So I am a huge proponent of professional development. And so it'd be great if our commission could be represented at this conference. And the fact that it's just up the street, there is no fee where you would have to fly. Those costs are not related here, where you'd have to fly or even stay at a hotel. So hopefully we can just find the funding to be able to pay for our chair's registration fees, food reimbursements, and travel costs as well, which is pretty normal for organizations. So, and then the last thing I wanted to mention was we have a new county superintendent of schools appointed, Marco Chavez. I've known Marco for many, many, many years. The former county superintendent of schools, Nancy McGee, her last day was on the 19th, so she retired. And Marco comes to us homegrown from East Palo Alto. When I met Marco, I was in the 17th District PTA years ago, and he was a principal at Bellhaven in the Ravenswood School District. So I actually saw him today and I congratulated him. And I told him, you've come a long way, baby, like the Virginia Slims. For those of us who remember the Virginia Slims advertisement. And so I'm very proud of him. And so he's just there to finish off Nancy McGee's term. And as you all know, we do have elections this year for a new county superintendent of schools. And the last thing I will mention here under this item is I'm also watching the county Board of Education's meetings since I have such a social life. I love watching meetings. Why not? And at the last meeting, they did have an item on upcoming topics. And I saw that we were on one of the topics for an upcoming to have a presentation. I know that Trustee Chelsea Bonini did request shortly after the Prevention in Action Conference that she requested us to come present. And in speaking with our chair, she did mention it's been about 2 years that the commission has gone before the County Board of Education to provide an update/presentation. So we're looking maybe to come before the board next month at one of their meetings. So that's all I have for the education report.
Okay, we'll take public comment at the very end, but if commissioners have comments at this time, I just want to thank Trustee Benini, who's present here in the meeting on Zoom tonight, for being such an excellent partner to the commission. Some of you may remember she spoke at our Prevention and Action Conference, and she's been doing this work for many, many years, and she's a champion for our system-impacted youth. So we appreciate the invitation and advocacy to get before the entire board and give that presentation. Any other questions on the education update before we move on to prevention action? Okay.
The only thing I have well, actually, there's not a real full-blown report like I just gave with the education report. It's just the committee for the Prevention Action Planning Committee, we have yet to meet again so that we can figure out what the event in September is going to look like. And so when I get that committee together, we reconvene, and I should be able to have another a better report and update on what we're going to do in September.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of your work on the conference. People are still buzzing about that. Okay, moving on to the YSC study session. So Supervisor President Corzo already addressed that. So that was going to be, my update was to let people know that that date has been postponed. And then we'll go into outreach for youth and families. I wanted to start, I didn't let you know this, Paul, but I thought this might be a good time for you to report, since Paul and I work on outreach to families and youth, to share a little bit about the work you're doing with Faith in Action to cover some essential housing costs, because I think what you're doing is remarkable and changing lives.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity to share with some of the collaborative efforts that we have. Big shout out to Faith in Action. As many people know, that they are huge proponents of rent control, and I've been collaborating with them very closely in the last few months due to some of our youth that we work with who are currently incarcerated, who were employed and were helping their parents with rent. Unfortunately, some of these parents um, have been on the verge of losing housing, meaning that some of these youth that we work with that are scheduled to be returning back to the community would essentially be returning to a possible shelter or vehicles like some of our youth have been in. And so Faith in Action has really stepped up. Just last month, they supported two of our youth by paying the rent of for a couple of the families, and have collaborated with us in finding other sources of financial assistance for these families as well. And I also would like to thank Supervisor Corzel's Chief of Staff, Jackie, uh, for assisting in that. She's also referred me to a couple of other organizations that are also assisting with rental assistance because Faith in Action has limited funding. And so I've been scrambling, looking for other places to ask for assistance at, and she's provided those places. So Faith in Action has been doing work on multiple fronts for our youth that are incarcerated, not only advocating for immigrant rights, but also rental assistance and food assistance. So just that's the update. They are awesome. They've always welcomed us to their office right here on Broadway, and I encourage everyone in the community and those that are online right now to support Faith in Action in any way you can, because they are really doing the work. And I wish I could do more to help them, but I just would like to take the time to definitely highlight that work that they are doing, and helping keeping our kids' families housed until these youth are able to return back to their employer and begin assisting these families again. So that's the update.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your work, because it's through your advocacy and bringing those stories, those family stories to Faith in Action, that they stepped up, and they have, with their limited funding, they believed in you and they believed in these kids, and they kept these families housed. So thank you, Commissioner Bocanegra. That is huge. Where our systems fail, we are out here trying to patch those gaps and keeping families intact. And we all know how expensive the rent is, so these are not small asks. So thank you.
$2,450 for 2 bedrooms here in Redwood City, and these apartments are not in the best of conditions. Yes, one of the things that they also noted was that one of the family members received a rental hike, and they are now investigating to ensure that that's within the new ordinance that was just recently passed in Redwood City by our city council. So again, they're like watchdogs, and they are all over that, and I am so thankful to them. So yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'd just like to add that about 18 months ago, on that front, we received a donation of T-shirts, underwear, and socks that have been distributed to over 150 youth, either system impacted or in the foster care system. And we've depleted that entire, depleted the entire supply that we have. White T-shirts, underwear, and socks are just basic essentials. But when you give a bag with some essential hygiene products and these things, I can't even explain to you the looks on their faces. They are so grateful to have new things. So if anyone is interested in donating white T-shirts, underwear, or socks, you can reach out to me. And I can go ahead. I've got a couple contacts that I have that I can get them inexpensive. So if you'd like to donate money towards that as well, we're happy to accept that. But these are basic essentials that our kids need. And once they find out we have them, Paul, they're like, "Do you have any more of those?" So So really, it's difficult not to be able to just go out and provide these necessities. So if you can assist, we'd be super grateful with that effort. And then moving on to the California Juvenile Justice Commissioners Collaborative, I just wanted to remind everyone that for commissioners, we meet every month on the second Monday over the lunch hour. And this group has been really helpful in establishing policies and best practices. Just last week, I came across a homeless youth who's from Los Angeles County. AB 12 youth foster care system justice involved. And because of this group, I was able to call down to LA and get everybody connected. And I got John Fong involved. And so this group is powerful in that we are all connected now. And we're helping children, we're helping young adults, we're helping youth. And so I would just encourage commissioners, if you can join us. There's so much to learn from one another, and our communities are better for it. So with that, we could take public comment on the updates.
If you'd like to make a public comment, please go ahead and raise your hand. And looks like we have none.
All right. Okay, so this brings us to item number 7, which is matters of commission interest. And I just wanted to bring forward that the BSCC Title 15 and 24 regulation updates that we've been talking about now since 2022 are finally at the finish line, and they will be voted on soon. If some of you remember with Senate Bill 823 and implementing SYTF, the Title 15 and 24 regulations, they didn't match with the new law. And so BSCC has been working to sort of put them in line with one another. And so please keep an eye out for those updates. They are going to be new, and that doesn't happen often with these types of things. So it'll be important to understand what those are. Does anyone else have any items of commissioner interest that they'd like to share? Yes, Commissioner Bocanegra.
Yes, I received a concerning letter from one of the youth that we work with that received a letter from the Selective Service System. The Department of War is requiring that our youth, as well as our immigrant youth who turn 18, register for the military in case there is a war. And the families are very concerned. They don't know what that is. So I'm just wondering if any other organization that works with youth have begun receiving these letters.
Okay, so it looks like every male youth who turns 18 receives a selective service letter, but I am concerned under the current administration with immigration, what exactly are they trying to do? So I don't mean to put fly on the spot, but this might be a perfect topic for them to work on. Oh, and I see that Judge Jakubowski's hand is up. Yes, yes. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I don't have a response to I had something else of commission interest. I had a quick question. So you can take me in just a few minutes once you've discussed this issue.
Okay, thank you so much. I wasn't sure when the hand had gone up. Okay, so I think this would be a great thing because they do their programs where they come in and talk to the youth. And we can also encourage them because we certainly don't want anyone filling out a form that's going to bring trouble to the households. These are very vulnerable households. So thank you for bringing that forward. And I'm so glad that the youth came to you, that knew enough to reach out to you to say, hey, I've got some questions. What is going on? So we're doing our work. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. So I had been provided with some reappointment oaths to administer this evening. I didn't know if you wanted me to do that because it hadn't been addressed. And I don't know if everybody's here to swear people in, I guess, for another term.
Thank you so much for mentioning that. So unfortunately, They did not make it onto the agenda.
Okay.
And so that is something that we plan to do next month. We do
Okay.
have quite a few members who are also absent, some who
Okay.
were to be sworn in. So thank you for bringing, and thank you for being prepared to do that. I'm
No
sorry about that. And for those of you who don't remember Judge Jakubowski, she was with us for a while, and she is back with us, and we're very happy to have you back. And so she will be a familiar face going forward at the commission for those of you who are just getting to know her. So thank you so much, Your Honor.
Happy to be here. Good to see you all.
Thank you. Okay, and the last item on the agenda tonight is the announcements. And I just wanted to remind everyone, like we said at the beginning of the meeting, that our March meeting is going to be moved to March 24th in observance of the Cesar Chavez holiday. Does anybody else have any announcements?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner
Thank
Lee.
you. Excuse me. I have two announcements. The first one is that the Daly City Youth Health Center, we've been going through a process of rebranding so that all the youth in San Mateo County understand that they have access to that, those health services, prevention services. And so we're having an event on, I think it's March 17th. Let me see. Yes, March 17th from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock at the Jefferson Union High School District Office to announce our new name, which is Youth Point Health. So these are services that are available to all youth in our county that are under 25 or 25 and under, and you know, full clinical services, mental health services. They have alcohol and other drug program, a sex squad. I mean, there's a lot of work that's happening at that center and also in the high schools and middle schools. So anyway, so definitely want to let you know, especially Chair Rasmussen, because I know you know a lot of youth that need services and need things. And then the other announcement is that the Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center, let's see, they have an event coming up. It's called Comienza con Confianza in Espanol. Yep. Let me look at the English one.
Right. Do you want the translation?
Build It Right, a small business starter series. So this is for anyone who's ever thought about starting a business or they have a business already and need to grow it and get more support. So this would be March 2nd, 9th, 16th, and 23rd. And I believe they have one that's starting actually this week as well. But anyway, my point is there are a lot of the youth that we're working with that aren't attending college or might not be interested in college. They might be interested in starting a business. Actually, I know some of them told me they want to. And some of them are already studying financial education and whatnot. So these are services that are free to the community. And they're looking to increase their numbers. So it's called Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. And I think I sent you the email a little bit earlier. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Those are two really important community events that will definitely serve our youth. Yes. Could you get to the microphone so the folks on, I'm sorry, couldn't hear you on Zoom?
Just to add to that, I've done some work with Renaissance Entrepreneur Center. They mostly focus on folks of color and women. So it's a great, and they have some really great services, and they're right in North Fair Oaks on Middlefield. So easy to get to.
Thank you for that. Yes, and Christina, thank you so much from Supervisor Corzo's office.
Thank you. I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself. I didn't do it earlier when Supervisor Corzo was here. My name is Christina Faya. I'm happy to be here with you all virtually. Apologies for not being there in person due to childcare. But I hope to be there in person as often as I can. So thank you for having me and nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you as well, and thank you for being here. Your presence is most appreciated. Okay, with that, it is 7:05 and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.